How do you build a city from the ground up and then somehow navigate it through a massive global crisis? Today, we're going to dig into the incredible story of a company that did exactly that. And trust me, their journey has some seriously powerful lessons for all of us.
It's a story about huge ambition, yeah, but it's also about incredible resilience. So how do you do it? How do you not just survive that kind of turbulence, but actually come out on top? Well, that's what we're here to break down.
All right, let's rewind. To really get this, we've got to go back to the beginning. Before the crisis, before the boom, there was just this massive and kind of crazy vision.
Okay, so the company we're talking about is PT Pura Delta Lestari, but we'll just call them DMS, it's easier. And their project is Kota Delta Mas. Now, when I say massive, I mean it. 3,200 hectares. To give you an idea, that's about the size of Beverly Hills. And we're not just talking about some suburban development. Nope. They were building a full-on integrated city from absolute scratch.
And get this, DMAS isn't some small-time operation. It's actually a joint venture between two heavyweights. You've got Sinarmas Land, one of Indonesia's biggest property developers. They know the local scene inside and out. Then, you've got Japan's Sojitz Corporation, a massive global player with connections in over 50 countries. So you mix that local know-how with global power, yeah, that's kind of the secret sauce right there.
Their game plan was brilliant and honestly pretty simple. It was all built on three pillars that feed into each other. Pillar 1, an industrial hub. This is the economic engine, right, where the jobs are. Pillar 2, a commercial center, for all your shopping, banking, you name it. And Pillar 3, a really nice green residential area for families. The whole idea was to create this complete loop, a place where you could live, work, and hang out, all without ever really needing to leave.
So you've got the vision, you've got the money, you've got these two giants behind you, everything's looking golden, right? And then, boom. The world gets turned upside down, and this company is about to face the biggest challenge of its life.
Talk about whiplash. In 2019, they were on fire. I mean, revenues were up a whopping 155%. They were absolutely flying. Then, bam, early 2020 hits. The pandemic arrives, and the entire world economy just grinds to a halt. But here's the crazy part. They didn't panic. By mid-2020, they were already on the move, rolling out new health rules and, crucially, making a massive pivot in their strategy.
So, how on earth did they do it? How do you navigate that kind of chaos? Well, it all comes back to that very first pillar we talked about, the industrial engine. When everything else was shaky, they didn't just lean on it. They went all in.
Just think about that for a second. In 2020, the year of lockdowns and uncertainty, where's their revenue coming from? This number just blows my mind. Over 94% of their total revenue came from selling industrial land. That wasn't just luck, folks. That was a bet they made, and man, did it pay off.
Okay, so who's buying up all this land in the middle of a pandemic? You might be surprised. It wasn't just the typical manufacturing companies. Look at this chart. The biggest chunk, 30%, came from data centers. I mean, it makes sense, right? The whole world went online, and the digital economy exploded. DMAS was right there, ready to catch that wave. This move into tech, that was the real game changer.
And you can see just how smart they were about this from one of their own reports. They're not just selling plots of land. They built a dedicated data center park, almost 300 hectares. And get this, they pumped it full of power, 993 megavolt amperes. Now that's a super technical term, but all you need to know is it's an enormous amount of electricity, like enough to power a small city. They basically built a custom-made high-power paradise specifically to lure in the biggest names in tech.
Okay, the strategy is one thing. But did it actually make them money? Let's dive into the numbers, because they really tell the story.
First, let's just remember where they were right before the storm hit. In 2019, their profits soared by an incredible 169%. That's not just a good year, that's building a massive financial fortress. It gave them this huge cushion, a war chest, to handle whatever was coming next.
And here's the part that's truly wild. We get to 2020, right? The year everyone was just trying to keep the lights on. Well, DMAS didn't just hit their sales goals, they smashed them, beating their target by 19%. That shows you their strategy wasn't just about survival. It was about playing offense and actually growing during the chaos.
But this bar chart, this really shows you the whole story. So in their peak year, 2019, they pulled in 1.34 trillion rupiah in net profit. Now, you'd expect that number to just tank in 2020, wouldn't you? Look again. It actually went up to 1.35 trillion. And it stayed super strong all the way through 2023. When the rest of the world was on a roller coaster, they were a rock. That's what financial resilience looks like.
But you know, this story is about more than just making a ton of money. It's bigger than that. Their vision goes way beyond the balance sheet. It's about building something that lasts, a truly sustainable community.
And they're just as organized about their social impact as they are about their business. They have this core philosophy built on 4 pillars. 1. Be the best at what you do, building great properties. 2. Take care of the planet. 3. Support the local community. And 4. Push for better education. It's this complete picture of what it means to build a city, not just buildings.
And this isn't just fluffy corporate speak on a website, they're actually doing it. For example, just this year, they launched a program to help kids in the community who weren't getting enough nutrition. They provided direct aid, things like milk and eggs, to 100 children. That's real, on-the-ground action that makes a difference.
And the foundation holding all of this together? It's something called Good Corporate Governance, or GCG. Basically, it just means they run their business the right way. They have regular audits, a system so people can report problems safely, and they're open about their performance. It's all about accountability, and that's what builds trust. Not just with big-shot investors, but with every single person living in their city. So, when you put it all together, what do you get? You get this amazing model that blends a powerful economic engine fueled by future-proof industries like data, with a real commitment to building a great community. Which leaves us with a really big question to chew on. As our population grows and our world gets more and more digital, could this be it? Is this the blueprint for the cities of the future? Something to think about.